Hello students, myself Anna Sahib Gorane from Rayat Shikshan Sanstha's RBNB College, Srirampur. I am junior college teacher in physics. Today we are going to study 12th Science Wave Optics chapter. Subunit is Steady Interference Pattern. We know the interference of waves. We also know the principle of superposition of waves. When two or more waves superimpose or overlap, the interference of waves takes place. That interference may be constructive or destructive depending on the conditions, whether the waves are in same phase or out of phase. The interference pattern is said to be steady. That is the steady interference pattern if it consists of clearly bright and dark fringes alternately. Bright and dark fringes are clear, they are alternate, and positions of maxima, that is bright fringe, and positions of minima, that is the dark fringe, these positions are also fixed. Such interference pattern is called as steady interference pattern. Clear, bright and dark fringes are there. Positions of dark and bright fringes are fixed. It means they are not changing. Such interference pattern is a steady interference pattern, and there are some conditions that must be satisfied so that we get a steady interference pattern. We see the conditions to get the steady interference pattern. Conditions to obtain the steady interference pattern. First condition is two sources of light must be coherent. The two sources of light must be coherent. Firstly, what is meant by coherent sources? The two sources are said to be coherent if they emit waves of equal frequency, same phase or constant phase difference at all times. Such sources are said to be coherent. And this is the necessary condition to obtain the steady interference pattern. If the sources are not coherent, phase difference between them changes with the time, and positions of maxima and minima changes continuously, and the interference pattern will not be steady if the sources are not coherent. The second main condition to obtain the steady interference pattern is the two sources of light must be monochromatic. What is meant by monochromatic source? A source which emits light of only one wavelength is monochromatic source. If it is not monochromatic, it emits light of more than one wavelength. For example, sunlight. There are 7 different wavelengths in sunlight, and if source is not monochromatic, the same point on the interference pattern appears bright due to one wavelength and appears dark due to other. Same points appears bright due to one wavelength, same point appears dark due to other wavelength. Interference pattern is not steady, or it may be colored. So this is the main condition, that two sources of light must be monochromatic. Third important condition is the two sources of light should emit light of equal amplitude. We know that intensity of light is directly proportional to square of amplitude. Intensity of light is directly proportional to square of amplitude. And main condition for the steady interference pattern is two sources of light should emit the waves of equal amplitude. If amplitudes are not equal, then firstly we see if amplitudes are equal. Suppose A1 is equal to A2. Main condition is amplitude must be equal. If amplitudes are equal, what happens? At out of phase point, the intensity is A1 minus A2 its square. If amplitudes are equal, at out of phase point, intensity is A1 minus A2 its square. Its square. This is out of phase point, and at out of phase point intensity is completely zero. We get a clear dark point if amplitudes are equal. But if amplitudes are not equal, the out of phase point will not be completely dark. Out of phase point will not be completely dark. Contrast between bright and dark fringes will not be maximum. If amplitudes are equal, bright fringes will be more bright, dark fringes will be completely dark. Contrast between bright and dark fringes is maximum. And if amplitudes are not equal, dark fringes will not be perfectly dark, but we get the fringes which are bright and less bright. Interference pattern will not be steady. So this is the next condition, that is they should emit light of equal amplitude. The next necessary condition for the steady interference pattern is two slits must be close to each other. Two slits must be close to each other. That is, this small d is very less than capital D. Distance between the two slits must be very small, and that is very less than capital D. That is the distance between slits and screen. If these two slits are close to each other, then fringe width W, we know it is lambda capital D upon small d. If this small d is very small, this fringe width W will be large, and as W will be large, we can measure it will be measurable, and fringes are well separated. Fringes are well separated and can be measured. If this distance is large, the fringe width will be small. Fringe width will be small, and fringes may overlap. And hence we say that the pattern will not be steady. The next condition is two slits must be narrow. Two slits must be narrow. If the slits are broad, what will happen? Waves starting from different points on slit travel different distances to reach same point on screen, and it will produce its own interference pattern. An interference pattern will be blurred and not clear and distinct. Hence, the two slits must be narrow. And next condition, the two slits or the two coherent sources should emit light of same state of polarization. That is the main condition. That is, same state of polarization. That is the E vectors are in same plane for the both the sources, and that light must be polarized, and that polarization must be in the same state. They must be in the same state of vibration. This is also a main condition, that is they should emit light of same state of polarization. Polarization means vibration of light is restricted in a single plane. If these all conditions are satisfied, we get the steady interference pattern, which consists of clear, bright and dark bands alternately, and the position of bright fringes, that is the maxima, and position of dark fringes, that is the minima, are fixed. Then our next article is coherent sources. We see what is meant by coherent sources and how coherent sources are produced. Coherent sources. We know for the steady interference pattern, this is one important condition, that the two sources of light must be coherent. So what is the coherent sources? Coherent sources are the sources which emits waves of same frequency having zero or constant phase difference at all times. Then the sources are said to be coherent. The sources emits the waves of same frequency having zero or constant phase difference at all times, or it independent of time. It emits the same frequency, zero or constant phase difference at all times, or it is independent of time. These sources are often from same original source. Coherent sources are often from the same original source, that is the primary source, or source and its image also acts as two coherent sources. Source and its image also acts as two coherent sources. Coherent sources are obtained in laboratory by different methods. First method is Lloyd's mirror. We can obtain the coherent sources by using the Lloyd's mirror. This is the diagram. In Lloyd's mirror, coherent sources are produced by the reflection. S1 is a narrow slit. This is the diagram. This is narrow slit. It emits the light. This Mn is plane mirror. Light is reflected by the mirror. This is the screen. Now here, two coherent sources are produced in Lloyd's mirror by using the reflection. S1 is the narrow slit illuminated by monochromatic light, and this S1 is also called as real source. S1 is a real source. This light falls on the mirror Mn. This is the plane mirror. The light incident on the mirror gets reflected by the mirror, and they appear to come from the virtual source S2. Light is incident here on the mirror. The light is reflected, and this reflected light appears to come. See these dotted lines. They appears to come from the source S2. Here actually our S1 is the real source. The light appears to come from S2. This S2 is a virtual source, that is, it is not a real source. and here these S1 and S2 acts as two coherent sources, and we can see the interference pattern in this shaded portion. Interference pattern can be seen in this shaded portion. So this is the Lloyd's mirror experiment to produce the coherent sources of light. Another experiment to produce the coherent sources is a biprism experiment. See here. In this experiment, the two coherent sources are obtained by using the biprism. This is the biprism. Now what is the biprism? Bi means two. It is used to produce the two coherent sources. Here there are two identical thin prisms. This one is the one prism, and this one is the another prism. Two identical prisms are there having very small refracting angle about 30 minutes to 1 degree. 30 minutes means half degree. These are the two prisms, this one and this one. Their refracting angle is very small. This angle is about 30 minutes, that is half degree, to 1 degree. Their bases are joined together and we get a single prism by joining the two, called as biprism. And for this biprism, the vertex angle is about 179 degree. As this is half degree, this is half degree, total will be 1, and this vertex angle for the biprism is 179 degree. Monochromatic light of wavelength lambda is incident on this slit S. Light is incident here on this slit S. This light is refracted by the biprism. These are the incident rays, and the light is refracted by the biprism. These are the refracted rays. When refracting edge of the biprism, that is this edge, becomes exactly parallel to slit, the refraction through the biprism takes place in such a way that we get two virtual sources S1, S2. That is, these refracted rays, these two and these two, they appear to come from points S1 and S2. Actually, S1 and S2 are not the sources. The rays appear to come from these points, and hence these S1 and S2 are called as virtual sources, and they act as a coherent sources, and they produce the interference pattern in this shaded portion. We call it as superposition region. Similar to Young's double slit experiment, we can also find here the wavelength of the light. If distance between these virtual sources S1, S2 is small d, distance between these virtual sources and screen is capital D, then similar to Young's experiment, we can find the fringe width W is equal to lambda capital D upon small d. Fringe width we know, it is the distance between two successive bright bands or two successive dark bands in interference pattern. Similar to Young's double slit experiment, we can find here fringe width, that is lambda capital D upon small d. Lambda is the wavelength of this monochromatic light. Capital D is the distance between sources and screen, and small d is distance between two slits. So okay. today we stop here. Thank you.